When I first moved to San Francisco, I only took BART, right? It's very linear. It makes a lot of sense. If you get on the wrong way, you can just walk across the platform, and there's, very little to lose there. Muni, if you look at the map, it's like the veins and the arteries of the city, and it just looks so complicated, and there's so much that could go wrong there. So it took me a very long time to start taking Muni once, I started living in San Francisco. But BART doesn't go everywhere. So I wanted to go to Japantown. I grew up going to Japantown with my mom, who is out here somewhere. Hi, Mom. And this day, I was, ready to conquer Muni. I was like, yes, the 22 is the only way I'll be able to get there. And I printed out, the map of Muni. I printed out the, itemized list of, how to get there from 16th and Mission, which is where I was living. So it's not that difficult now, I realize. But I had my little printouts. I had my papers of, everything that could go wrong. This is before smartphones, mind you, so, that was important. So I'm waiting at 16th and Mission. I have my little, nerd starter pack of papers and maps, and I'm like, ooh, when is it gonna come? And the bus pulls up, the 22, and I have my change in my hand. I'm ready to go, and I walk onto the bus, and the bus driver smiles at me, and he's like, welcome, come on, you don't have to pay, just come on in. And I was like, yeah, okay, that seems normal, okay, sure. So I mount the bus, I'm walking down the aisle, and I start to notice there are streamers up and down the bus, and there are balloons up and down the bus, and there are posters up and down the bus that say, Happy Anniversary. And so I realized that it's the bus driver's 10-year driving anniversary from Muni. So he's having a great day. Everyone on the bus is having a great day. People are all just, talking and singing, and he's on the loudspeaker, this is the next stop, have a great day, everybody, super into it. And, that was just the most magical, second of my life. And, obviously that wasn't normal. A lot of Muni trips have only been downhill from there, but that moment kind of instilled, the rose-colored glasses of Muni for me. So, that persisted throughout, sitting next to people clipping their toenails and the fights. And, you all know what can go wrong on a Muni bus, but I've always had this just internalized, oh, it's magical, nothing can go wrong. So that also instilled upon me this sense that, maybe I could be a Muni operator, Thank you for believing in me. So I was like, that would be a great job. And I don't know if y'all do this, but when I get an idea like that, I love to, try on different lives. And I think I live mostly in my own head. So I had, the thoughts down to, I was like, oh, and I'll have my uniform, right? And I was like, oh, and, which bus lines, which is the one that I want to be the operator on? Ooh, the 36 is really beautiful, and, oh, do I want to be on a line with the overhead poles or not the overhead poles? Or, oh, and, the 14 is my home line, so, I'd feel comfortable. Yeah. And, so, I really, I had it, down to a science, even to, imagining what I would say to, the teenagers who get on the bus and don't pay or doing graffiti. I imagine, getting out of my little, bus driver enclosure and, standing there and being like, hey, you gotta go. You can't do this on my bus. This is my bus. So I really gained this, sense of ownership over my, internalized world in which I am a Muni operator. But it's kind of funny because, like Eugenia said, by all accounts, I have a really cool job. I created this little shop If y'all are familiar with zines, like they're all self-published little books and kind of have their roots in like punk rock and music and DIY culture. So I renovated this old newspaper stand, right? Filled it with zines. We're open 7 days a week. There's a bunch of people who help out with it. Yeah. And you should come by. But it's up on Market Street, up by the Embarcadero. And so I'm there a lot of days, just like sitting by. And, I'll hear like right behind me, the F line is kind of like clanking or like rumbling. And it transports me to still wanting to be a Muni operator. And so I have this partner who is like so supportive, like to the T, like just ridiculously supportive of any like weird like whim or artistic fantasy that I have. And so, pretty early on in our courtship, like I was telling him like I kind of want to be a Muni operator, like, not thinking that he would take me seriously. He was like, oh yeah, like that's a good idea. You should do that. And I was like, oh well, yeah, like I've thought about it a little bit, and so like I think I really would want to be the operator for the F line. Like that's like I could tell all the tourists like, oh, this is your stop, and like be really friendly to everyone and welcoming, and like that feels good to me. And I was like, so I looked into it, like you have to be a bus driver for 2 years and then you can start being a streetcar operator. And I had the plan all lined out, and he's like, yeah, that's really like you should do that, but like you need to learn how to drive first, like you don't know. So I have since learned how to drive. So, maybe in the future, 2-3 years from now, you'll see me on the F line. But in his unending support, he actually wrote a song about me becoming a Muni operator. And it is a rap song. He's not a rapper, mind you. He is usually a folk artist. But, inspiration is inspiration. It comes where you can get it, and he wrote a rap. And so I would like to bring to the stage Lil Agitado and Transphilic to help back me up here.
You're so cool. What's me?
Oh my God. Hi, everybody.
Courtney for president.
Riddle 2016.
2 years I could do. 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 Drop the F, the F is my dream.
They're taking hearts up and down Market Street.
I got flowers in my hair, matching jacket and patch.
A lovely day, huh?
What the hell are you looking at?
That's what I say to all the creeps.
There's nothing more intimidating than a smiley blonde like me.
When the teens scratch my windows, that's when I
Stop!
You're getting the fuck off!
2 years I could do. 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 Muni is my heart, 'cause the people are my blood. I remember exactly when I fell in love. It was this guy 10 years,
Driving anniversary, fill the bus with balloons,
let everyone ride for free, 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 free. 2 years I could do. 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 2 years.
Courtney Riddle. Courtney Riddle. Courtney Riddle.